Hey there and welcome back. So we did the validation functions in the previous video. Let's continue and we will start to do a check if we have an email already. We will start to hash the password, create a user. So in order to get these dependencies to handle them, because it's reporting that it cannot find it, we have not imported it, so let's just do this to clear out this. We can do npm install, and we need bcrypt, and we need JSON Web Token. So we're going to install those, and it will probably tell us that this is okay. Then we also need to install some types for TypeScript. So we need the types for bcrypt and also JSON Web Tokens, and we need to mark this as a dev dependency, because this is something we use when we are developing and not when we run the code in production, because it's being transpiled to JavaScript. So we have JSON Web Token here, we have bcrypt types. All right, so let's clear the terminal here, and let's put it down here. So no errors from that. Let's continue on this. So in the next thing is that because we need to check if the email is already registered, we need to connect to the database, because we need access to Mongo to check if we have the email already. So what we will do, we will make a new constant, email exists. Let's just put it like this. Await user model, and we will use the call find one, which will allow us to, yes, find one document if it exists. So we're going to check for if for the field called email, and then we will pass in the request body email. And because we already validated this, we know this is an email now. So this is pretty handy. All right, and if the email exists, we need to handle this, of course. So we're going to, and I think I'm just going to copy this response here. It's the 400. I'm just going to modify the message. So error, and let's just put a text here, email already exists. Yes. And of course, you could also just do a normal send, where you just send a message instead of the JSON. But I think it fits okay when we have the error with joy up here, so it's the same structure. Okay, so we can see that we're sending the response 400, and then we need to return, so that we don't do the rest of it if we already exist. Then the user needs to input a unique email. So next up, we will hash the password, and maybe could be beneficial if we just visit bcrypt pretty quickly here, just to see that this is the structure. This is the hash that we will get from bcrypt. We will have a hash and a salt, and then an algorithm specifier, and the cost to how heavy it should be to generate this. And you can configure this when we do the hash. The salt is made to make this unique, so it will be more difficult for a hacker to break the hash. And it's a one-way procedure. You cannot revert this. So we need to compare this hash, or the hash that we have in the database, with the hash that we generate when the user log in. But we're going to see much more about this. So this is the hash that we will work with in the database, and that we will generate in the code here. So first off, we need to make a constant called salt, because we need to generate the salt. And we will is bcrypt gen salt, and then this will default to 10. We can change this if you want to. We also need to make a constant called password, and I think I'm going to name this password hashed, because we already have a property in our body called password. So let's just stick with this. So we're going to await bcrypt, and then we have a function called hash. And the hash function will take the request body password, which is the password in clear text from the user, and we will provide the salt. So we get a hashed password that we can save in the database. Then we will have to create a user object that we can save in the database. So we're going to make a user object, new user model, and to do this we need to input some information for our user model. So now we're using this user model that that is based on the Mongoose schema, so that we can save it in the database. Name, we will have this, and we will put requests body name, email, same email, and now we need to put in this hashed password here. So I'm going to put the password hashed so that we have all the different properties here. Let me just check one thing. Yes, I think we should put like this, password and password hashed. So we have a user object with the information that we have provided, and then we need to make a save user, a constant call that, and we're going to await a call for user object, the newly one we did, and we have a save function because this is a Mongoose user object. So we can call this save function that will communicate with the database and try to save it. And finally, we will do a response status 200. And we're going to send a JSON object with this. Let's just do like this. We will send put error null because we don't have any errors. And then we will provide the data that has been created in the database, and the data that we will provide will be the ID from Mongo. So we have the Mongo object ID that has been created, so we can refer to this, we can save it in the front end to keep it. And the reason why I'm only sending the ID is because the name is the same, the email is the same, so the front end already have this. And the front end does not need the hashed password. This should stay in the database. Okay, so that is it for this here. If we have an error, response status 500 internal error, and we will send let me see here, I think maybe let's include the error. So we're going to send a message called error registering user, and let's just put in the error here. So we're sending 500 internal server error, and finally we will await disconnect. So we will disconnect from the database. So that was a big function here that we created. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop the video now, and in the next video we will add the routes connection here, and we will test it using Postman. Okay, so hope you make this work and have fun with this. Bye bye.